let me tell you a little bit about BetOnline. It remains your number one spot for NBA, MLB, MMA, boxing. It doesn't matter. Every single prop, every single play, every single point, it's all at BetOnline. When it comes to bets, when it comes to props, everything that you need is at your headquarters for sports betting. That's BetOnline. Head to the website right now, use your mobile device, sign up. There's no need to hesitate. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Do you want a bite?
I'm on a diet, but thank you.
You're kidding, right? You look great. Very thick.
You can always be thinner. Look better.
Hello. I'm Michael D. Catherwood, reporting live from the farm. Central Texas, the Lone Star State. This is my podcast, the Mikey Likes You podcast. It's vaguely about health and fitness, so listen. I get people all the time, they ask me these questions. And I guess I'm not surprised when a lot of these questions are very detailed and intricate, and they have to do with some of the more nuanced aspects of eating and training. I'm not surprised because that's the way the internet works. And we've talked about on prior podcasts about how I think there's just too much information, as Victor Fuentes says. Too much information!
Too much information and shit, man. Bullshit.
I am surprised, nice transition, I am surprised when a lot of the questions I get are just like, Mike, what do you eat for breakfast? What? I just got that question again, and it's not the first time. Well, what do you eat for breakfast? And I guess it's because I grew up in a generation that didn't have the internet, didn't have interaction with people that weren't in your actual personal circle. I can't understand. Like, why would you give a fuck what I eat for breakfast? And then I thought about it more. It's like maybe people are just so kind of overwhelmed by this. You know, I'm the one who points out that there's too much information and that people get overwhelmed by things and they get confused. And maybe they just want some very basic information that is easy to understand and easy to comprehend because there's something tangible. It's what you're looking at it. This is what I eat. This is what I had for breakfast. Now, granted, today was a bit of a unique day in that I trained early in the morning and it was leg day. So my carbs are a little bit higher. Pre-workout, I had a banana and I had some egg whites. 3 of them, if my memory serves me correctly. And so very little food. I had hard-boiled eggs and I took the egg whites off of the hard-boiled eggs. 3 of those, and then I had a banana. And then I went to the gym. Then I got home after doing legs and I had this. 3 rice cakes, 7 egg whites, and 1 whole egg scrambled together. 2 cups of broth right there. Yeah, buddy. And 2 tablespoons of some nice salsa. So if you look at it from, old-fashioned, kind of very basic, not exactly that original or unique or exciting bodybuilding, health and fitness kind of eating, what can I say? But maybe that in and of itself is somewhat exciting because everything in the health and fitness world is so crazy and hip and cool and cutting edge. Fruit diet, intermittent fasting, keto, high protein, low protein, blah, 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 blah. 1 meal a day, carnivore, plant-based, nonsense, all of it. I want to get as much nutrients, protein, and kind of healthy anabolic food into my body with the lowest amount of calories possible. So don't be a fat fuck. I want to maximize my muscle mass and minimize my fat. What do? I don't eat completely low. I'm not Rich Gaspari, mid-80s, early 80s bodybuilders. I have a certain level of healthy fats in there to give me hormonal health and skin and hair, okay? Olive oil, monounsaturated fats, your olive oil, your avocado, things like that. I use egg yolks mixed with my egg whites for that reason. Just keep a couple egg yolks in there, whole eggs, because of the healthy fats. On top of minerals, folic acid, whatnot. Mike Goetson, donkeys are very interested in what I'm doing. They're like, why is he sitting talking to a square, to a rectangle? Come on over here. Come on, you guys are stars. And then I go high protein, about 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. I don't think everybody has to go super high, but everybody should be higher. I think that the more muscle you carry, and if you have your goal, especially during phases of body fat loss, that's my main goal right now, your protein should be pretty high, way higher than you probably think. I don't think if you are a abject beginner, if you're very overweight, if you carry high body fat and you don't carry much muscle, you don't need to be going 1 gram per pound of body weight or above. But a gram for every pound of lean body mass that you have, meaning a gram for every pound of muscle, take away your total body weight, take away body fat, water, and all that kind of stuff. And let's say someone's 200 pounds and they have 20% body fat. That would mean that they have 160 pounds of lean mass. So getting 160 grams is pretty reasonable for a 20% body fat person. I'm 175 pounds and just got my DEXA done, a couple months ago. And I'm, in 11 ballpark, 10, probably around 10 now. That's a whole different ballgame. Because even though I could say, oh, okay, well, if you're 175, 10%, what's 175 minus 17? Let's for easy, 158 or whatever. I'm working at my machine, my efficiency, my horsepower. It's like, okay, a certain Porsche might have the same displacement, same size engine as a Honda Civic. Does that mean that they're working in the same way? No, they're much higher compression. It's functioning at a higher level of efficiency and power. And when someone's super lean and someone's been training a long time, I'm not trying to blow my own whistle, pat myself on the back, but overall body size isn't necessarily always when someone's really lean, someone's really active, it changes things. When someone's really not active, you sit at a desk all day, and this isn't a lifestyle, this isn't a judgment thing. I'm just kind of pointing things out. If you sit at a desk all day and you only exercise 2 or 3 times a week at moderate intensity, your need for energy, be it fat, dietary fat, and carbohydrates, it's really low, like really low, really, really low. Okay? And I hear this is a perfect transition because so many people do this where they're like, my grandpa ate whatever he wanted. My dad ate super high carb and he was shredded. My grandpa ate essentially a animal-based diet because he didn't have access to fruit. And look at him, he was... all of our grandparents worked way more than we did. Physically, they burned way more calories day in and day out. I don't care how many times you go to the gym, unless you're a competitive CrossFitter or an MMA fighter or something, the overwhelming majority of people 50 years ago plus, 40 years ago plus, even when I was a little kid, so I was born in 79. When I was a little kid, I was analyzing my daughters and her friends the other day. And my daughter and her friends are actually pretty good when it comes to staring at screens. Like, they don't really do it that much. But just in general, because things are so awesome, they have an internet. They have video games that aren't crap. They have really well air-conditioned cars. And you don't have to be ballin' to have that. My point being is, just in general, when I was a little kid, you didn't sit down. I didn't. And if you did, it was like a real luxury. And you're like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm going to watch SportsCenter. I'm going to watch Cheers or, Jackass, whatever. But you couldn't take much of it because it got old. And I think having that access to entertainment and stimulation in your hand just makes you so much more prone to sitting there, especially now that we all mostly have jobs that are way more sedentary than jobs of the past. My point being, the average dude in 1950 worked construction or worked as a plumber. Most people did not have white-collar jobs. It was a very, very small amount of people that had white-collar jobs. And even those people who had white-collar jobs didn't come home to the luxuries of the technology that we have with food ordering and with vacuums being what they are, and everything is just easier. Okay, this isn't just another supplement brand. No. Lone Crusader Supplements was built for those who are grinding in silence. Former athletes, busy parents, hybrid contenders, the ones who are balancing real life with ambition. The flagship pre-workout, Primal Charge, it's a multifaceted formula primed to fuel your metabolic conditioning, your endurance, and your strength training. Whether you're chasing a PR, trying to keep up with the kids, or putting in work that others avoid, you don't need hype. You need fuel, and that's what they deliver. Rise alone, conquer all. Check us out at lcsups.com. If you have a modern day job that you sit a lot, and then on top of that, you're not very active outside of your work, take a good, hard look in the mirror. I always recommend doing it the old-fashioned way. Getting back to when I was a kid, I always recommend doing it the old-fashioned way. And what I mean by the old-fashioned way, fuck your intermittent fasting, fuck your low carb, fuck your high fat, fuck your carnivore, fuck your animal based, fuck your plant based, fuck this shit, fuck your fruit diet, that's the new one. It meant so much to me in 2001, 99 to 2000. I started to get really into bodybuilding and like just taking care of my physique. But it wasn't until about 2002, end of 2001, that I got serious because I got clean. When you're drinking a lot and using a lot of drugs, it's pretty hard to monitor your diet. But I got clean, and with getting clean, it came with me putting a new emphasis on how I was going to go with this. I was going to go after it, and I was going to draw a line in the sand. I was going to mean something to me. And I had a book, a physical book with pages made out of paper. And it told me all the calories of all food at different weights, different sizes. And I went like all day. And I had a notebook with a pen or a pencil, and I wrote that shit down. And then I did math with my fucking public school brain because I didn't have a phone in my pocket that had a fucking calculator. And I did that all day for months and months and months, and I got shredded. And I didn't monitor macros and didn't eat till, make sure I didn't eat till noon and then stopped eating it. I ate a certain amount of calories that I gauged, and I had other people help me, and they gave me some insight, and I did these equations, and I kind of came to some conclusion. I was like, I'm pretty active, I train pretty hard, I'm young. And I got a calorie set point, and I ate a certain amount of protein and everything. And I went around and I gathered up healthy, nourishing foods that were going to feed my muscles and kind of starve my fat. And an old fat, hey, Richard Grieco, the goat, come here. And it fucking sucked. It sucked a lot. It sucked a lot. But I'll tell you, it was all worth it. That sweat equity that went into it made a big difference. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because it's worth it. I had a platonic friend. She was a female friend, but she was my buddy's girlfriend growing up. Her name was Carolyn. She was a really close friend of mine. She was friends with a girl that used to be my girlfriend when I was growing up. So we were always hanging out. And I remember one night, we went to this like nightclub. And after this nightclub, you got to understand where I grew up. For those of you familiar, I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, 626. So after a lot of my social environment was going to places where there's only Chinese people there or only Korean. You know what I'm saying? It was like a very Asian heavy environment. So we'd go to these like after hours, like diners in Monterey Park, Alhambra, very Asian heavy neighborhoods. And they'd be open all night. You smoke indoors. So it was a very like friendly place to go after a nightclub super late at night. We went to one of these places. And it was Southern California in the summer, so it was probably warm, but at night it was starting to get down into lower temperatures. And I took my shirt off or my jacket off to offer it to someone that was there, a girl. And I had a wife beater on, and this girl, Carolyn, she goes, "Whoa, Mike, you are ripped. You look ripped." This was 26 years ago. And I remember it like yesterday because I felt like I was walking on the moon. I was Neil Armstrong. I went through it, and because of vanity, sure, like this much of it was because like, oh, I look good to a woman. Most of it was I knew what I did to get, I knew what I did to achieve that. And I can only be so objective of looking at myself in the mirror, have someone else comment, being like, whoa, look at your physique. I say that as to kind of hammer home how much it would mean to you What you can turn yourself into a different human being for the better. I don't have a personal problem with GLP-1 agonists, with what our president calls it, the fat drug, Ozempic and things like that. I don't have a problem with it from a chemical standpoint. What I do have a problem with it is that you're missing out on the best part. You're missing out on the best part. Because being able to look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you're seeing, especially if you're very unhappy with it right now, it has almost nothing to do with your physical appearance. It's that you will look and you'll be happy. You'll be like overwhelmed. You'll turn into a different person. It turns you into a different human being from the inside out. Because you say, I did that, nothing else did that, nothing else, and it sucked. It sucked my ass to do it. The training sucks. The dieting sucks. It's not fun. And there's no hacks. I didn't do any hacks. I didn't do any drugs. I didn't do blah, blah, blah. I just, I tracked. I weighed my food. It sucks. It's boring. This training's boring. Mixing some more higher rep stuff where I get the pump and it hurts and it burns, the lactic acid buildup burns, and then also heavier sets for, the more myofibril kind of contractions, heavy weights for lower reps. And I'm mixing it up in a very smart, wise way, and it's taking forever. I'm not even seeing my results in the next day or two or a week or two. I have to really kind of just be patient. It sucks, but that makes it all worth it. And there's a reason why that is the no ifs, ands, or buts, it works. But they can't sell you that. I can't do a podcast about this where I keep telling you exactly, people ask me what's the best way to go about it. I'll tell you the best way to go about it. It's going to take a couple years, and then you're automatically like, fuck that. All of you. And it doesn't necessarily take a couple years. It takes 6 months, 8 months for you to start really noticing like these crazy, life-changing results. But everyone's looking for that quick fix, And the problem, I don't care if you lose the weight, if you get healthier, great. If by doing these hacks or by taking Ozempic or whatever it may be, but you lose out on that. Oh, I'm a different guy now. I'm a different woman now. I weathered that storm, and let's go. What else can I do? It's the most important part about all this. Because the abs and the biceps, they're fun. I get that. And vanity's a real thing. I'm not trying to shy away from or act like I'm above it. But it's way far down the list. Up here is like you can turn yourself into a different person. You can turn yourself into Mr. Right, a Mrs. Right. If you're a confused, kind of aimless person, it's a very great way. It doesn't automatically make you responsible and smart and disciplined, but what it does is it gives you a good North Star to show exactly where that is inside of you. And you can become a different dude. You can become a different woman. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that podcast, and I love you. Goodbye.